Traffic is moving slowly, and you can definitely expect some delays. This area right here is bordering the Rock in Rio Festival. Owners say animals like Ozzy the giraffe here are happy, and they should not be punished for permit choices. Hillary Clinton told attendees she will advocate for the issues impacting Latino families. We know tobacco cigarettes are bad for your health, but e-cigs leave many unknowns. Thanks for joining us for your only local news at 5:30. The fighter who goes by the name War Machine is captured. Officers on the water want to remind you that the first thing you need to do when you get on the boat is put on a life jacket. Local kids without toys under the tree were in for a surprise. The National Park Service says it may be the busiest holiday weekend here at Lake Mead yet. You can punch Mayweather or Pacquiao like this, and then see it reflected there on the screen.
Jane, you have a nice right hook there. Now just work that left uppercut too.
I'm working on it. Yes. Well, it's gotten warmer since the 5.
Yes, it has. See, it's warming up already.
She's paying attention.
You're a junior weather buddy.
I'm always paying attention.
You're Nate's new best friend, too.
Okay.
The lions at the Lion Habitat Ranch in Henderson are loved. No one is debating that. But the Clark County commissioners say the ranch is violating their permits, and they'll consider shutting them down. That means the animals could be forced from their home for someplace new.
If you love the animals, how can you justify taking them from where they live?
Keith Evans loves these lions, even snuggling with a lion cub like you might with a pet. He runs the Lion Habitat Ranch and says the animals should stay here in their home, where they lounge around and eat up meat. But the Clark County Board of Commissioners sees problems with how the ranch is run. Commissioner Steve Sisolak says one of the problems is breeding.
This originally was set up to be a sanctuary for the lions from the MGM facility. The mission has changed totally. It has now become a breeding facility. It was never licensed as a breeding facility.
And I have the capability of breeding hundreds of lions. We don't do it. You know, we just breed one pair.
Evans says he just breeds 2 lions, descendants of the famous MGM lions, and the ranch isn't overcrowded. Sisolak disagrees.
The breeding is simply out of hand. That is happening with the animals. That's the real issue at hand here, the breeding and the non-compliance with their conditions that were attached to that special use permit.
Sisolak explains the original permit for the ranch allowed for 40 animals, and the ranch has exceeded that. There are now 46 lions and several other animals, like a baby giraffe and ostriches and emus. Evans argues the animals are better off here. Owners say animals like Ozzy the giraffe here are happy, and they should not be punished for permit choices. Evans says the animals are doing just fine, and the commissioners should see for themselves.
To this date, I haven't seen the commissioner here.
I was there.
Okay.
I didn't go on the inside. I went on the outside.
If the commissioners decide to revoke the ranch permits, Evans questions if this will actually be in the best interest of the animals.
Where are they going to go? Who's going to feed them? If you really love animals, come here. They're happy. They're content. Commissioners will discuss the permits on Wednesday to determine if they'll vote to revoke them, ultimately leading to the closure of this ranch. Reporting live, Jane Sander, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas. On West Sahara, it started as a traffic stop when a Metro officer pulled over James Todoro, but it quickly escalated as Todoro complained about police being after him for interactions with his estranged wife. That's when Todoro pulled out a gun from the passenger seat, nearly killing 2 police officers. Metro Officer Carlos Luna pulls over 54-year-old James Todoro for a broken taillight, as you can see from this body cam video. Todoro immediately gets out of his car, throwing his hands in the air, frustrated. Body cam audio takes several seconds to activate. Officer Luna begins to approach Todoro's Jeep. Todoro gets back in his car, saying he thinks he's approached for a previous dispute with his wife.
Why did I pull you over?
Because I went by the White House.
No, you did not. I pulled you over because your taillight is out.
Todoro gets increasingly agitated. Officer Luna asks if Todoro has weapons.
Do you have any weapons in the vehicle?
Yes, I do.
Where are they at? All right, don't grab it.
Rifle's back there.
All right, come on.
I'm not going to jail over there.
Sir, you're not.
Officer Luna asks Todoro to get out of the car, but he refuses. That's when Luna reaches for Todoro. Todoro threatens to shoot himself, then a struggle as Todoro reaches for a gun.
He then reached across the center console with his right hand and grabbed that 9mm handgun that was lying on the front passenger seat underneath a blanket. As soon as Todora grabbed that firearm, he pointed that gun at Officer Luna's head and he pulled the trigger.
Luckily for Officer Luna, there was no round in the chamber. When Luna heard the gun click, he ran for cover.
As he was doing this, he heard a single gunshot, and the passenger window on the driver's side of the vehicle exploded.
Officers who happened to be at another traffic stop down the street on Sahara could see the struggle happening. They hurried to assist. That single window shot struck assisting officer Evan Hogue on the side of his neck. He yells he's hit. Luna hurries to help. Meanwhile, Officer Brian Craning fires into the car, shooting Todora.
He fired 3 rounds from his duty weapon, and all 3 of those rounds hit Mr. Todora.
A medical team declared Todora dead on scene. It all happened in under 30 seconds.
Sir, I'm not going to ask you again, sir.
I'm going to shoot myself.
Do you have a gun?
Yes, stop! Stop! No! 413! 413! He's got a gun! He's got a gun!
Luna rushed Officer Hogue to UMC emergency room where he was treated and released a little later that day for a grazing wound. Now, this body cam video can be released because Todora died, and it will not be used in prosecution. Reporting live, Jane Sander, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas. The National Park Service says it may be the busiest holiday weekend here at Lake Mead yet. They anticipate 100,000 people coming to the lake. Well, Lake Mead is ever changing with record low water levels, and officials want you to keep that in mind as you practice safe boating this weekend. Lake Mead, a top water recreation area of the West, is busiest at Memorial Day. It's anticipated 100 to 300,000 people will take to the lake this holiday weekend. Several agencies monitoring the lake promote fun but press for safety first. Officers on the water want to remind you that the first thing you need to do when you get on the boat is put on a life jacket.
This will save your life. Of all the people who've drowned at Lake Mead over the past few years, they weren't wearing their life jackets. Those who wear life jackets, they make it home and make it back out to the lake for another day. Friends and family make a splash, cutting through the waters, and for each boat there should be 2 experienced drivers. When we unfortunately have drownings here, it's usually the boat operator who jumps in the water, and then no one else on board knows how to get the boat to reach them. So make sure you've got at least 2 boat operators on every vessel. There's plenty of water to enjoy, but the water line is hard to miss. Lake Mead reached a record low this month, and you'll notice differences around the lake.
Some of those traditional areas that you went before are going to be a little bit more crowded because of the lack of water in those bays.
As you ride across the lake, keep an eye out for shallow water warnings.
If there's a buoy with a diamond in it, that means a danger area. So there may be a rock there, there may be some other obstruction there. So they have to pay attention to the rules of the road on the water. It's just like driving in your car.
We came across this small island, the Diamond Buoy, now completely out of the sinking waters. Next to this rocky warning, our boat hovered in 4 feet of water. Then the lake abruptly dropped to 100 feet deep, a warning for quick changes. Lake officers want you to be mindful of discolorations in the water, which may be a sign of shallow depths. Scanning the water is a safe practice.
Discolorations mean that there's an island coming up or a point that's jetting out from an area. So you have to be very careful and try to stay away from those. If you make safety a top priority, Lake Mead will keep its top spot as a weekend water getaway for Memorial Day fun.
With record low water levels, lake officers emphasize being aware how things may be a little different than they were last Memorial Day weekend and keeping an eye out for shallow waters and rocks. Reporting live, Jane Sander, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.